Hey, coaches, just want to spend a little bit of time with you here on Friday to get us all on the same page so that tomorrow, when we get here on Saturday morning for our first week of games, we have a little bit better understanding what to expect, and you're a little more comfortable and confident when you show up to the fields for the first time. So, first of all, coaches, thank you so much for your willingness to step in and volunteer. Some of you even stepped in late, changed your teams, and maybe filled in for coaches who, after a while, realized they couldn't lead some teams. So thank you so much for your willingness to step up. I know you didn't do it for the money, all right? Thank you for doing this for the kids and the families of our communities. Now, here's a few things I want to hit with you. I know the dry erase board to go through to get on the same page for tomorrow, okay? So first of all, communication tonight. Take some time this evening to text or call all of your parents to make sure you're all on the same page about tomorrow, what time you're playing and where you're going to be playing. Now, also, if you tell them, say, be here 10 to 15 minutes early, I guess the expectation is you'll be here 10 to 15 minutes early. And I would really encourage at least the 10 minutes ahead of time so that when it's time to start the activities on your field, you can walk right on and start the whole process, because there are 3 hours of games at 9 o'clock, 10:15, 11:30. So there's a little bit of buffer time between the two, not a ton. All right, so confirm with them there's a game, confirm what time, and confirm what time to be there and where you're going to meet them. If you haven't reached out to some kids or still some parents haven't responded to you, give it another shot. And if you still don't hear from them, please let me know so I can try to find ways to reach out to them so that they can start being at games and practices starting tomorrow. Arrival time, I just said 10 to 15 minutes ahead of time. Make sure you are there as well, your fields. Okay, so you have been practicing on some of the fields. The K through 1 football league will be playing on the south fields. That's on the south end of the parking lot. It's not across the path where all the other fields are. You'll find them, all right? It's at the end of the gym. There you go. That's a good way of knowing where it's going to be at. The second and third grade flag football players, you're going to be where you've been practicing. The third to fifth grade soccer players, you're on your field already. Pre-K through second grade, there will be flags around all of the fields, color-coordinated flags. So when you look at your schedule, you'll see red flags, blue flags, yellow flags, green flags. That's to let you know which field you'll be playing on. So you find the field when you get there. All right? Jerseys and picture forms. Your jerseys are being completed as we speak. I confirmed yesterday that they should be picking them up this afternoon from River's Edge Embroidery. They are fantastic workers. They do a great job on them. I'm picking them up today. So when you arrive, I encourage you to go to the concession stand. The concession stand will be right across that gravel kind of bridge from the parking lot over to the fields. There will be a concession stand there with some tables with bags full of jerseys. Okay, so pick up your jersey. Try to be proactive and make sure all your picture forms are in there as well. On your picture forms, you will also see what time to be here next week for pictures for your teams. I need to confirm as well with the picture people. Last year we did a different format, but I'm thinking because there's no COVID, the whole team will just be there together in one big group. So you'll arrive around the same time. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get your pictures, which will take place down here by the gym at the community room. So you'll go through the play zone entrance next week to get here. So pick up your jerseys, your picture forms. Because there were some changes to teams throughout the last 2 weeks after I made the orders, there will be some kids who will not have a jersey, have a shirt. There may be some mess ups on sizes because I changed people. That's fine. Have them play with whatever t-shirt they show up in. You need to let me know, and I prefer you let me know by text message how many of what size jerseys, what team it is, and what colors. Okay, so I need to know what team, the color of jersey, and what size shirt you are needing for your players. They will be here for next Saturday morning when they get their team pictures done. So, okay, the turnaround is going to be fine. That's why we do pictures on the second week and not the first week to make sure you get all the pictures in. Also, at the table, there will be a bunch of green Dayspring Community Sports coach shirts. If you have one from this last winter, it's the exact same shirt. They're the green ones, really nice fabric. If you don't have one already, please pick one up. If you have some volunteer coaches that aren't like necessarily ones that we've hired, I guess that's the way we're saying it, but some parents who stepped in are going to assist you, have them come get a shirt too, okay? So we should have plenty. Again, if we run out, let me know if you need any additional shirts. I will have them ordered by next week, so when you get to the team pictures, we're all wearing the same stuff. All right. Jerseys, picture forms, pregame. So about 5 minutes before the game starts, once you get your players on the field and start lining the people up for the fan tunnel. So you just yell fan tunnel and just get them to start lining up straight across the midfield lines. The fields are going to be totally striped and completed by this afternoon. So you'll make a tunnel down the midfield stripe. You'll get your teams together and you'll start announcing your players one at a time, and they will run through and the parents will cheer. The first week's always kind of different. We'll help try to assist you in coordinating that, but eventually the parents will know this is what we do at the beginning of every game. Then, if you will gather at midfield, one of the coaches, if you're comfortable, please lead in a prayer. If you aren't comfortable, let me know and I will try to find some other parent to step in and help you out. That will be for all the soccer games, not all the soccer games, the 3rd to 5th grade soccer games, you will have a referee. Cortez Swain, who helps out every year, is going to be back reffing again. He will lead you in prayer at the end of the game following the fan tunnel. There will also be referees at the 2nd and 3rd grade football field. They will lead in prayer, but on every other field, it'll be coaches leading out. Refs and timers. So there are some officials at some of the games. The other games is you as coaches are going to be the officials, okay? So make sure you know that it's six-minute periods for soccer, 7-minute periods for football. And you will just run your games. You will blow the whistles. You will help them find out how far their 7 yards back is from the line of scrimmage and make sure they're not rushing. When it comes to soccer, get them on the field, start them playing. If you have any questions on rules that you aren't sure of, please contact me today and I'll try to walk you through them. Just remember, on preschool through kindergarten on soccer, we're not doing corner kicks. We went over in the session that we had together. So anytime the ball goes over the end line, past the goal, regardless of who kicked it out of bounds, just set it on the box and kick it out and have the goalie kick it out and we'll start play again. If anything on the sidelines, it's a throw in for the team that did not touch it last, okay? Older divisions, 1st and 2nd grade, and 3rd to 5th grade, if the ball goes over the end line, that's the line past the goals, and it was touched by a defender, we'll do a corner kick, which means you set the ball in the corner. There's a little circle by the flags, and you kick it from there toward the goal, and you keep playing from that direction. All right? Now, on K1 football, coaches, you will be the refs, you'll be the timers. And then 1st and 2nd and 3rd grade football, tomorrow I will be there to help officiate. Now, we do have a shortage of officials right now. We're trying to recruit. It's not going too hot. So prepare maybe one of your assistant coaches or a parent that you might know to come and help me with the officiating. It's going to be very simple. We'll get them a whistle. The whole point is they'll step 7 yards back and make sure someone doesn't go out of bounds on their side. And if they see the flag pulled, they'll blow the whistle for me. It's not very hard if you've watched even up our 2nd, 3rd grade football game. There's not a ton of action. We just need a little more help on the opposite sidelines from myself or whoever would be reffing in the weeks down the line. Leadership. What I mean by this is simply this. Our attitudes as leaders will dictate the attitudes of the entire fan base. If we are getting critical of each other, outspoken and loud, then parents will start getting critical, outspoken and loud at parents, each other on the sidelines, and to the coaches. If you're having issues with another coach in gameplay, start by just pulling them aside. Walk up to them and have a conversation. Well, hey, I don't think you're following the rules. This is right. If you're having issues with that, you come find me. I'll have other people on staff, on site, that'll allow me to scoot away if I need to try to diffuse some issues or clarify some rules. So please, let's lead by encouraging. This is for the kids. Yes, I know every dad and some moms keep scores all the time, but this is about the kids and working with them. Now, good luck tomorrow. I'd like for everyone who is a 3rd through 5th grade soccer coach to hang on for just few more minutes for one more thing, some coaching technique things that might help you out tomorrow as we have a bigger team in a bigger field for the first time. But again, coaches, thank you for investing in these kids and our families. If you have any questions, please, please, please give me a call. Give me a text. I want to be your biggest fan, your primary supporter to see that you're comfortable and confident tomorrow as we enter in our first week of DCS games. Thanks a lot. All right, 3rd and 5th grade soccer coaches, I'm really excited about this year because in the past we've had maybe early on, just 3 teams older division. Then it's 4 teams, but 4 pretty small teams with a smaller field and less kids playing on the field. This is the first year we got pretty good sized teams, so we can start learning a little bit more about soccer and play and format of play. Here's one thing I think that'll help you out. If you don't implement it tomorrow, that's fine. But in the weeks going ahead, this might prove to be helpful. So there are essentially 4 different primary positions on a soccer field. And one of them you know clearly, it's the goalie, all right? Sitting way back here. This is the person that can use the hands inside this designated box, all right? The second type of position is the defenders. Sometimes they call them fullbacks. These are your last line of defense. Then 1 row up will be your midfielders, all right? These guys right here. And then the next row up will be forwards or strikers. They use different kind of terminology, but they all mean the same thing. Essentially, these are the ones who move forward the furthest and do most of the scoring. Now, I wanted to show you this because we're playing with 9 kids plus a goalie. This is what we had decided ahead of time. So when you're putting the kids on the field, here's a good way of thinking about how to teach them positioning. Because what you see a lot of times with the younger kids is that wherever the ball is, there's a mass of kids always following the ball wherever. If you can spread them out, that's going to make the game more effective. And as they move on into older divisions, this is what they will be doing, though they'll be doing it with 11 or 10 players plus 1 on the field, okay? So one way to think about it when you're dealing with the 3 positions is kind of divide the field up into thirds, all right? So when you have defenders, they're essentially going to be responsible for the final third of the field. They may go as far up as midfield, all right? But they should never cross that line. But yeah, they're the defenders, okay? So the second is the midfielders, which says it the middle field, okay? Think the middle third of the field. They will come back on defense. They will go forward and support the attackers, the forwards on offense, okay? And the final third would be your attackers or strikers. So we have defenders, we have midfielders, and we have your strikers or forwards. However you in terminology, it will translate wherever you go, okay? So when you put your players on the field, start telling them you're the defenders. Maybe even tell them don't go any further than midfield, okay? So you have center, you have left, and you have right of all these positions, all right? Okay? So you're almost dividing it up like this. They all kind of have their squares, okay? This is a good way to start teaching them to stay in your positions, keep things wide. These are the ones that'll be throwing the ball in from the sides. These are your scorers. These are your midfielders. So midfielders will come back on defense. They'll go forward and support on offense. Defenders should only go as far as midfield, and attackers should probably only come as far back as midfield. There's a thing called offside that they will learn as they get older. What we just don't want you to do, which is, you could get away with it, but it's not really soccer, it's called cherry picking. You can't just leave your defenders way up here around the goal and hope they kick the ball up there. They'll want to come back a little bit, all right? But these guys should never really come any further back than midfield. These guys should never come up any further than midfield. And then your goalie, obviously, will play in this area, only using their hands inside that box, all right? So maybe that'll help you out tomorrow as you start positioning your kids and showing them maybe in a diagram, this is the area you want to stay in. This is what it means to be a defender, a midfielder, or attacking forward. Thanks, guys.